Hey, this is Buck Dharma of Blue Oyster Cult, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you test their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course the king of all those gigantic cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had, probably be the best you ever have as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call, find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. All right. A big welcome in everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Wild Charter, and independent cable affiliates in select markets. Thanks for joining us, as well as on Pick Your Favorite Streamer and on Chicago Food Favorites, by the way. Our friends over at Chicago Food Favorites, a fun group on Facebook. Talk about your favorite foods, your favorite restaurants, favorite recipes, and make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. All right. By the way, at the top of the show, I want to make a quick announcement here for our friends over at Vacation Buddies. They're giving away 2 nights right here in Las Vegas, or 2 nights in Orlando, Florida, or 2 nights in Branson, Missouri, if you can answer a very simple trivia question. Which of these 3 is the tallest structure in Las Vegas? Is it A, the Stratosphere Tower at the Strat? Is it B, the Eiffel Tower at the Paris Hotel and Casino, or C, the Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. That's 888-576-5777. Now, Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with this station, but they want to give you a couple of nights in Las Vegas, Orlando, or Branson, Missouri, if you have the answer to that simple trivia question. And if so, call 888-576-5777. Call now. All right. Now, how many of us are collectors of baseball cards, football cards, basketball, hockey cards, whatever? Pokemon cards. Pokemon's a big deal these days. Non-sports cards. There are a handful of companies that have these markets cornered, so to say. Because you know what they do? These companies are the grading companies. And nowadays is a lot different in collecting than what it used to be back in the day. So way back in yesteryear, back when I was a kid, when they had rabbit ears on TVs and this kind of thing, well, we just collected the cards and we traded them with our friends. And if we didn't like the player, we would use them. We used them on our bicycles and put them in the tires. And so it'd make like a, I don't know, kind of like an engine sound, like a motorcycle sound or something, make our bike sound like that. Whatever the case. Maybe I should do that with some of the crappy ass cars that I have today. I don't know. But anyway, nowadays, there are, let's put it this way, there's a complex business model that goes around it. So you can't just go and collect a card like this one here, everybody watching on TV. So here is a card from Dave Tobick from 1984 from the Detroit Tigers. So it's just a random card. I just happen to have it right here. I've got some other ones here. But there's a reason I've got this here. So this is just a standard card. Of course, I'm not even holding it right here. Now I'm going to hold it right for all you collectors out there. So don't get your panties in a bunch. But the reality is, these are the cards that we collected, right? Back in the 1980s, 1970s. I collected them back when I was a kid, right? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is these cards, this is a standard base card, right? And I'm going to compare it, for example, to this one right here. I'm going to compare it to this one. Everybody watching. This is a 19, I'm sorry, strike that. This is a 2000 and, oh crap. No, it's a 94. I think it's a 94. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it's about a 94 tops, it's a 98 tops finest card. And you could see with this one how detailed it is and how shiny it is and all this other crap. Of course, I have it in a plastic sleeve, but then there's also plastic around it as well. So it's really cool. It's not a holographic card, and I've got those and whatnot, but I'm trying to show you the difference. This is the evolution of a card. So this card costs a little bit more money to make for sure. So I'm going to guess it probably takes, I'm going to take it out of the plastic for everybody watching. All right, but it still has a plastic coating on it anyway. All right, so I just took it out of the plastic sleeve. So these are called penny sleeves. So the idea behind this kind of a card, it probably takes, I'm going to guess, 5 times the amount of money to make this card. So cards obviously have gone up in pricing. And this happens to be a Wayne Gretzky card. For all you that are wondering how come I haven't had it graded, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. If you look at it, it's a little bit off center. It's a little bit thicker on the left side facing it right now. If you're looking at it, it's a little bit thicker, you can see. So it's not centered properly. Anyway, my point is, there are these companies that are in the grading business, and they tend to dominate the card world. Meaning, if you think your card is worth X just by itself without it being graded by one of these companies, one of these professional companies, listen, folks, this is, in my opinion, the most colossal ripoff of all time. But they, being the card grading companies, they hold the keys to the kingdom. Because if they say a card grades at a particular number, maybe it's out of 10. They're all out of 10. If they grade it a 10 out of 10, then the possibility of getting maximum value for that card is there. Now, if they grade it less than 10, the value drops off very, very sharply. And this is a problem. So I'm going to give you an example. All right, so I have a few cards here. All right, so this one happens to be a 2024. Everybody watching can see this. And if not, just imagine I'm holding this up. Now, this card is a Shohei Ohtani 2024 Topps Living card number 29. It has been graded a 10 out of 10. Right? So this is an Ohtani card from 2024 graded a 10 out of 10. So that's kind of a big deal if you're looking at it for the value of what it represents. So there's a little reflection on the screen. I'm trying to move the reflection around a little bit so you can kind of see it. All right? So that's what a 10 looks like by this company called SGC. Okay, so that's a 10 by SGC. Now, how does it compare to a 10 from the alleged industry leader being PSA? Here's a 10, 2017 Bowman Draft Gavin Sheets Chrome Draft autographed card. This is his first card, and it's autographed, and it's holographic. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on with this card. All right, so this is a PSA 10. So it's different than, of course, the SGC 10, just in terms of the organization that's doing the grading in the first place, because this is supposed to be the gold standard in grading, this PSA company, all right? And I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. All right, so that is basically the industry leader in the grading business today. So PSA is, they call them Red Rocket. There's all kinds of terms for it, whatever. But this particular card has really good value. It's getting better because thank God this guy is actually starting to play Like the White Sox thought he could play when they drafted him, but he went to the Padres and actually started playing. So in any event, this is a PSA 10 right there. Okay, now we have another company, and then we have another company called Beckett. Now they've been around longer than everybody in the grading business. And Beckett has, for a long time, they cornered the market in a very particular way. And so this, again, this is an autograph card. And similar to this PSA card here, I can hold them by the corners because they're in plastic. All right, so the PSA card does not have 2 grades. It has 1 grade on it, whereas the Beckett has another grade on it. The reason is because this Beckett card has an autograph grade on it, and it has a card grade on it in the same light as, since PSA doesn't grade the autographs, SGC does. And SGC is owned by PSA, right? And so SGC, you could see, has 2 grades, one for an autograph and one for the card itself. Now, this card is a 2024 Bowman Chrome Jeter Martinez Prospect Autograph Speckle Refractor. It's one of those really cool special edition kind of cards. All right, so you can see all the cool work on it and so forth, and of course it's autographed and whatnot. But there's a difference. There's a reason I'm telling you about all of these different cards. And you see, folks, although they're all graded, now this Jeter Downs one is super cool. But my point is with this, just like in this Franchi Cordero Beckett card, there are all different characteristics to these. And in fact, when we come back from break, I'm going to get into a little bit more about this. Why? Because people collect cards. I collect cards. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus. Back in a few.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at
714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100.
Or email us at info@thesportcircus.com. That's info@thesportcircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door. store without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at uppercutchops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at uppercutchops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP-TV studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by our friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com. Check them out, folks. Yes! That's my patented yes! Don't use it unless you credit me. All right, a big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates and independents, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the 49ers, the New York Yankees, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Welcome in everybody else up and down the West Coast, all the way out to, I'll tell you what, those driving between Vegas and LA right now on Interstate 15, listening in on Highway Country Radio 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM. That's home of the Vegas Golden Knights, the Raiders, and the Sports Circus at 7 p.m. Up and down the Midwest, out down to our friends over in Auburn, Alabama. In fact, on WAUD, that signal goes from Montgomery, Alabama, all the way over to Columbus, Georgia. Thanks for joining us over there. That's home of the Atlanta Braves, 1230 on the AM dial. And over in Atlanta, thanks for waking up with us, listening in on 99.1 FM WDJY. Plus everybody else watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Wild Charter, and independent cable affiliates. Everybody, and that's, of course, where applicable. And on Hotel TV, where applicable, in about 500,000 rooms or so. And, of course, everybody right there on Chicago Food Favorites watching us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us over there as well. Fun group, talk about your favorite foods, your favorite restaurants, your favorite recipes. Make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Check that out, folks. I grew that group from 0 to we're right around 4,000 now. So it's all organic. And listen, don't spam the group either, because I will kick your ass off of there. I will block you. I will suspend you, whatever. Follow the rules. If you're gonna say pizza, say pizza. Whatever you do, don't call it za. We don't like that. That's one of the rules. You can't do that. And there are other things too. Don't promote certain things. I mean, look, again, talk about your favorite foods and restaurants and stuff like that. That's cool. But just don't spam it, and don't turn it into your forum. Make it so everybody can participate. Post something, and if you're going to post a restaurant, make sure you have the name of it in the original post and the address. No reposting. So you saw something on Instagram or whatever the hell it is, or X or whatever. No reposting unless you put the name and address of that establishment right there on the post to Chicago Food Favorites. Otherwise, yeah. That will not be allowed, just in case you're keeping score. All right. Oh, by the way, folks, in case you're just tuning in, at the top of the show, we had made an announcement for our friends over at Vacation Buddies. And Vacation Buddies is giving away a couple of nights right here in Las Vegas, a couple of nights in Orlando, or in Branson, Missouri, if you could answer a simple trivia question. And the question is this: which one of these three is the tallest structure in Las Vegas? Is it A, the Stratosphere Tower at the Strat, B, the Eiffel Tower at the Paris Hotel and Casino, or C, the Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. That's for Vacation Buddies. They're not affiliated with the station, but they want to give you a couple of nights right here in Vegas, Orlando, or Branson, Missouri. So if you know the answer, call 888-576-5777. Call now. All right. Now, in the last segment, I was talking about baseball cards. Actually, I have all four sports. And I brought up a hockey card, too. I showed a hockey card. It's a pretty cool card. And then we had the base card. This is the base card. There's no shiny whatever. This is a 1984 card. Yes, I'm holding it this way because I can. So don't get your panties in a bunch, all you card collectors here. And I'm holding it better. And I don't have white gloves on. And then we've got, of course, the autographed cards and whatnot. This is a real super shiny one. It's a speckled refractor. It's one of those special edition cards with 2 grades on it. One for autograph and one for the actual card itself. This kind of thing. Now, this particular company, SGC, does that. They grade the autograph and the card, this particular one here. Whereas PSA, which is the alleged leader in the space, they don't grade the auto. No, they do not grade it. It just says Chrome Draft Picks Auto, and then there's the card grade as a 10. And you'll see that one right here. I'll probably hold it up a little closer so you could read it. All right? All right. And anyway, so there's a difference. Now, these two companies are owned by PSA, the red one here. All right. So the red company essentially owns the black card right here. All right. In case you don't know. Well, guess what? Now the unthinkable has happened. Now the red company owns the black one and the gold one, which is Beckett, which is the old school, old standard. All right, so as I'm holding these up, I'm going to make a point here, and I want you to realize that as I look at these, I say, all right, yeah, these are 3 pretty cool cards. They're not super valuable, whatever. They're pretty cool. I mean, the best one here, I would argue, is it's the Ohtani. It's this particular one, anyway. But my point is, these cards, as I knock my microphone, sorry about that, folks. All 3 of these cards are owned by the same, or better yet, the grading company has the same parent company. And so, frankly, as you read these things, you'll see Beckett right here on the back of Beckett. It says the world's most trusted source for collecting. It says it right here on the back. It was essentially the industry leader to start the whole rodeo in the first place, in case you're keeping score, all right? So it's Beckett. It says, as you can read it a little bit closer, all right, that's the industry leader. And then you've got PSA, and PSA has their fancy schmancy barcodes and crap like that. But you can see it has its holographic sticker and whatnot. And SGC on the back doesn't have anything. No, because all of their stuff is on the front of the label, right? And all you can see is their branding on the back side for SGC. Why am I talking about this? You're probably like, all right, I'm sick to death of hearing about it. Here's why it matters. Because PSA already owns SGC. These are the 3 biggest companies in the grading space right now. PSA is the owner, technically, of SGC. Although they operate independently, whatever. And now, the unthinkable has happened. And I'm going to preface this with a chorus of boos. I don't like it for a bunch of reasons, but here it goes. PSA parent company just bought Beckett. That's right. They bought the oldest one. So, look, everybody has reported on this one. And I'm just going to pick Sports Collectors Daily because I can. I don't want to read anything from the New York Times. They're not paying me anything. And this company isn't either, but at least they don't have the ability to spin as much as maybe some of the other big publications. Anyway, so less than 2 years ago, this is what they say. After acquiring a card grading rival, the parent company PSA has gobbled up another. So Collectors announced that it had entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Beckett, just as it did with SGC. Collectors says it will maintain the Beckett brand. Now, Nat Turner, the CEO of Collectors, said, quote, "I am pleased to share that the iconic Beckett is joining the Collectors family and will continue to operate as its own independent brand within our portfolio. The first card I ever submitted for grading was to Beckett, and I consider collectors custodians of this important icon in the hobby, and we believe that strong, well-supported brand help grows access to the hobby. Now, it continues on to say Beckett has an online marketplace and will continue to publish its price guides and magazines. As a matter of fact, quote, the acquisition reflects collectors' commitment to strengthen the hobby by supporting trusted brands that serve distinct collector bases. This is what they wrote, of course, in their press release. Continuing on, with this edition, collectors will look to enhance Beckett's offering while preserving the ability for hobbyists to choose what is best for every unique item in their collection, close quote. Now, collectors acquired SGC, as I mentioned, a couple of years ago and promised to turn it into a boutique brand, much like it was prior to the whole pandemic COVID nonsense, when PSA backlog helped trigger a larger spike in the modern submission SGC wasn't really known for in the first place. So SGC continued to operate out of its Florida offices, sharing resources with PSA's new office very nearby in Boca Raton, but now has returned to its roots as a brand known more for vintage cards. So now, a year ago, Beckett announced it would operate as part of Collectivus, a holdings company that would also run Southern Hobby, a collection distributor, a collectibles distributor, a distribution company, and Dragon Shield, a maker of card storage products. Now, shortly afterwards, the company announced it had received a $250 million infusion in financing from King Street Capital. Now, this is from the remarks of Kevin Isaacson, CEO of Collectivus. Quote, Beckett is in good hands with the collectors team, who are, for the first and foremost, hobbyists and fans. We appreciate their commitment to the Beckett brand and their willingness to invest in the people that make it valuable. We look forward to seeing Beckett continue to build its legacy in the future. All right, back here with more of this on The Circus in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks.
If I was your mother and you had a drug problem, I'd grab you by the ear and make you call and get help. You can be in treatment tomorrow and start to get clean in 7 days. Follow Mom's advice and call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. Write this number down.
800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. That's 800-814-8628.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives.
Treatment helped me get my life back. I was so addicted, the only person I could focus on was myself and what I needed. I hit rock bottom and lost everything. Through treatment, I was able to overcome those demons and focus on my family again.
I used until I overdosed and almost died. That was the end of the road for me. After seeking treatment, I now have hope. I learned skills that help me deal with life on life's terms.
800-426-4994. 800-426-4994. 800-426-4994. That's 800-426-4994.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number:
800-876-7041. 800-876-7041. 800-876-7041. That's 800-876-7041.
Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP Studio, AAMP Television. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, recorded shows which can be found on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, iHeart, Stitcher, Deezer, plus a whole bunch of others. Also, make sure you check out the partners page. Lots of great partners at thesportscircus.com. As a matter of fact, one of our favorites, and it's just a longtime favorite. These are friends of the circus. Al's Number One Italian Beef at 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. That's Al's Number One Italian Beef, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. Listen, folks, if you don't know anything about that particular sandwich, first of all, you got to get down there. Now, if you can't get down to 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy, you can always go to alsbeef.com. That's alsbeef.com, and you can pick up all of your supplies there. By the way, these are the creators of the Italian beef sandwich. About 117 years ago, they did this. They opened their first restaurant, the one I'm talking about on Taylor Street, in 1938. 1938. So they've been in business for a minute. And again, it is really a special sandwich if you've never had it. Those people that say, well, you know, there's that Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Listen, the Philly cheesesteak sandwich, at best, is laughable. It's a poor cut of beef thrown on a flat top. They throw some onions and some peppers with it, squirt some cheese whiz on it, mix it up, mash it up, throw it on a bun, and send you on your way. The only thing they're missing there is some kind of an antacid because your stomach's going to be in pain likely a little bit later. Nonetheless, you can read about how the beef is selected, what they do, how they treat it at alsbeef.com. That's alsbeef.com. Check them out, folks. Listen, I don't get anything for saying this. It's just a favorite of mine, and those are my friends down there. Go down and see Bones and tell Bones that Ringmaster Sal sent you, and who knows, maybe I'll give you a punch in the nose or something. No, they'll probably do the right thing for you. Anyway, just tell them I sent you down there. It really is good food, folks. If you've never been, just go. Trust me, it's worth the drive. All right. And I'm not that guy that says, oh, trust me. No, this is one of those things. It's really, really bleeping good. Of course, I have to keep this a PG-rated show. I can't say anything bad. It really needs to be more of a G-rated show. Anyway, all right, welcome back to everybody on TV and radio and everybody streaming, everybody on Chicago Food Favorites as well. Thanks for joining us there. Make sure you tell your friends and family to join Chicago Food Favorites. Again, talk about your favorite foods, your favorite restaurants, your favorite recipes, make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. All right. Back with this card grading business stuff, because it is a business. And there's this company acquiring that company. And Beckett was the long-standing company. I mean, look, in grading Beckett's biggest differentiator is the 4 subgrades. No other company does that. So I'm going to give you an example. So I've got a Beckett graded card here, and then I've got another card here. These are 2 autograph cards. All right, and so one is by SGC and one is by Beckett. If you look at Beckett's grading, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of numbers. There's 4 numbers at the bottom of it: centering, corners, edges, and surface. And it will apply all of those to the actual grade of the card itself. So this particular card happens to grade out at a 9 according to them, because some of their numbers are different. But the actual autograph it shows as a 10. So there's the auto, in case you're looking at that. So they actually grade the auto as well. So here's an interesting thing. So I'm going to grab this other one here. I'm going to grab this card by Josh Lau. All right, now Josh, so here's an SGC card. It's a 2022 Topps Finest. So it's a really cool card. It's holographic. I mean, it has the shiny in it too, but you'll see there's 2 grades. One is a card grade, and then you'll see the autograph grade. Now, here's something that's kind of confusing to me. Look, the auto grade is a 9.5. I mean, this is a conundrum here. So they say, all right, we're going to grade the card itself as a 10. It's centered perfectly and everything else. But the auto, believe it or not, so Josh signed this card. They said, hey, maybe the signature isn't perfect. I'm not really understanding what that means, but they say we're only going to give the autograph a 9.5. Well, what kind of garbage is that? I mean, hey, look, the guy signed the damn card. It's authenticated, the whole thing. But guess what? On this one, he's got a perfect 10 for his signature. But guess what? The card itself is only a 9. But here we have another card that is a 10 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. And this one is Jeter Martinez. And this is one of those super cool speckle refractor cards. So it's one of those potentially high valuable cards. But I'm telling you this for a reason. Now, PSA only has the grade itself for the card. They don't grade the auto, right? So here's the Gavin Sheets PSA first card, his first Bowman card with the auto on it. But you see, what they don't do is they don't grade the autograph itself. All right, why does all this stuff matter? I'm going to tell you why it matters. Because there is something called population control in these cards. The population control, and I'm going to shift over here real quick. And look, I've got a million tabs open here, but I have to focus on what's what. Now, look, there is something called population control, and I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of what this means. Look, in fact, in the world of collectibles like the PSAs, whatever, they say, all right, the PSA population means the total count of a specific item or specific card that professional sports authenticators, which is PSA, has graded at each distinct grade level. For example, PSA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, acting as a scarcity indicator to help collectors assess rarity, difficulty, market value, with low population suggesting higher rarity and potential card value. That is the case, and I'll say that for sure. But the aspects of it are one thing. Let me run through these real quick. So we have the graded items. Of course, it tracks every card, comic, or item graded by PSA. Then they do it by grade, so you can see how many of a particular card received maybe a Mint 9 or a Gem Mint 10 or whatever. And then you have a live database that actually shows how many are in the database right there. Mind you, that database is only in PSA's database, not in the other companies. There's a reason I'm telling you this. So there's that scarcity indicator, which said, well, maybe there's only 2 or 3, whatever, of these particular cards in the world, whatever, that are in their database. And then, I mean, look, PSA has it, SGC has it, Beckett has it, whatever. And then, of course, there's market insights. But here's where I'm going with this. As I've been told by a few people on the inside of this industry, to be nameless, of course, is that one company, now this is, I cannot confirm nor deny this, it's just somebody's opinion, it's not my opinion. Somebody says PSA has something called population control. Now, I don't know. Again, I'm just saying, somebody told me this. I have no idea. So take it for a grain of salt. It's just for entertainment purposes only, whatever. But what I've heard is that the grading from this particular company sometimes may be compromised to control population. Now, I don't even know how that works, but you could think about this for yourself. Now, as I see it, or as I'm seeing it, maybe there's a Mickey Mantle, 1952 Mickey Mantle autograph card, which is like the holy grail, right? So Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps card is it. That is the card. Okay? But let's just say there's one perfect card in the world. Do they really want a second perfect card out there? I don't know. You be the judge. It's not up to me to decide. But people say, well, PSA and other companies, I guess, whatever, are controlling what's going on. And then many collectors feel, this is according to that your favorite search engine that rhymes with noodle. I'm not going to say it because they're not paying me. In fact, I will if they... Show me the money! Then I'll say their name. However, many collectors feel, according to them, that PSA pricing is a ripoff due to high cost, sudden upcharges. Oh, you can't even get to that one just yet. For higher grades, that is. Sudden upcharges for higher grades. That sounds like somebody's selling a grade to me. Anyway, slow turnaround because they tend to take 4 or 5 months, I guess. And perceived conflicts of interest, which is what I just mentioned when it came to that whole population thing. So, especially with their recent, quote, buyback scandal, close quote, where some claim PSA downgraded cards, for example, 9s rather than 10s, after selling, creating huge profits through PSA maintains transparency through declared value and tiered services. So the quote, ripoff, close quote, perception stems from the high cost of entry, perceived grading inconsistencies, basically like tough graders being overruled, and the significant market dominance that allows PSA to set high prices because of their authenticated 10s sell for much more. So the same search engine says why people feel it's a ripoff. Here are the complaints: high costs and upcharges, right? So base grading is expensive. And if cards post value is higher than declared, PSA significant upcharges, sometimes adding hundreds of dollars to the cost of grading a card in the first place. What kind of crap is that? That's right. That's what I'm hearing they're doing. Also, the same search engine says slow service. Yeah, it takes many months to get this thing done. Grading inconsistencies, and I've seen this one, and I'm not happy about this. Some users report seemingly perfect cards getting low grades like 7s or 8s, while others feel grades are too harsh for only senior graders to bump them to 9s or 10s. This is really interesting. We're going to be back here with a few minutes on the circus. Lots more to come, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Stop it!
Excellent.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173.
Owning great property is almost impossible these days. At least that's what people keep saying. They don't know about National Premier Properties. Do you have $350 or a credit card? You can own a great piece of property in a resort community. National Premier Properties has over 51 years of experience helping people just like you purchase amazing properties across the U.S. and in Mexico, Canada, the Bahamas. It takes less than 5 minutes to turn your dream into reality. Visit nationalpremierproperties.com and make it happen now.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Excellent.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP television. Folks, make sure you check out the store at thesportscircus.com. Lots of great items over there. It's a tab right across the top of the website. Hey, listen, folks, I do this live. I don't fix it in the mix. None of that crap. It's not a podcast. It's a real TV and radio show. It is what it is, folks. We've been doing this for over 9 years, thousands of episodes. I have learned, just go with it, man. And that's compliments and courtesy of Colonel Bucky from the Sports Circus, our former producer. All right. Anyway, check out the store at thesportscircus.com. Lots of great items over there, whether it's hats, hoodies, t-shirts, sweatpants, coats, ball caps, or beanie hats, or pillows and blankets and travel mugs and coffee mugs and mouse pads, all kinds of great stuff with the clever Sports Circus logo on them. In fact, if you're looking for an extra discount, guess what? 10% off your first order if you mention me, your ringmaster Sal from the Sports Circus. All right. Well, you know what's funny is, geez, I feel bad. I hate to put Tyrone off. Now, Tyrone just called me. Now, Tyrone for years, you know what I want to do? I want to see if I can get Tyrone on the show real quick here, just because, and I'll hold the microphone up to the telephone, or up to the, better yet, the phone up to the mic, and let's see if Tyrone answers the phone. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can get him on. It's live, folks. Anything could happen. And there it is ringing.
What's going on, Sal?
Hey, it's Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior here on the Sports Circus. Tyrone, it's the last segment of the show. I saw you called, and I'm doing it live because you know we're doing it live, man. Anything could happen, right?
Oh, man. You mean I'm live in the circus? Yeah. Oh, man. What's going on, Sports Circus? Fans and people watching Sal. I hope Sal kept everyone information included. You know, at the circus, you don't know what you're going to get with Sal.
Right, it's a circus, and we prove it every day, if you know what I mean, right?
What's happening, everybody?
Hey, listen, so what I've been doing, today's show, it's one of those evergreen types, right? So I'm talking about the baseball, football, basketball, hockey cards. I mean, look, think about that. When you were a kid, you collected cards, right? Come on, who didn't?
You know what? I probably saw the cards that I wanted, but I could only stare from a distance.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're broke as hell, man. I spent all my lawn mowing money and whatnot on that, and snow shoveling and leaf raking. Every penny I had, I spent on 45 records, and I spent on baseball cards. That's for sure. Yeah. So I was going through this PSA, SGC, Beckett thing, whatever, and basically, in my opinion, how the card collectors, look, it's not even it's not even a hobby anymore, Tyrone. They've turned it into just this big business. And most of the alleged collectors today, they don't even know anything about the players. Imagine somebody getting a Tyrone Poole football card. Your first one from the Carolina Panthers, being the number 1 draft pick. The first defensive pick in the history, and in the first round too, in the history of the Carolina Panthers organization. Right? So somebody gets your card and they say, well, who is this guy? Well, let's just get this thing graded. And let's just see if we can go ahead and sell this thing. And they don't know anything about Tyrone Poole. How would you feel about that?
Oh, you know what, Sal? Usually, most players probably don't really, it don't bother them, because the reason why I say that is usually those card companies have already paid the players to sign those cards, right? So the players have already gotten their money. Let's be honest, right? They've already gotten their money for the cards, so it's up to the cards. They're trying to make their money back.
Right. Well, the reason I bring it up, because let's just say little Chris, because Chris could be a boy or a girl. Say Chris is standing in line you're doing an auto session at some place, and maybe it's pick your favorite sports store or whatever the heck it is. And so here's Tyrone sitting there signing baseball or signing basket. Let's see if I can pick the right sport. Signing footballs, signing helmets, signing jerseys, signing books, and all kind of neat stuff. And they say, hey, would you mind signing this? And you say, sure. And maybe it's fun to make a little small talk with the people while you're doing it, because you're a personable guy. And they don't know anything about you. They're only interested in you signing and then selling. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, we've already got it paid.
Come on, man, play along.
I'm playing along, and I'm gonna get real with it, right? I'm gonna get real with it. The players have already gotten paid, even to go to a signing gig, right? They've already paid us, right? So if you see a player sitting in that chair, they've been paid, probably more than what the kids or whoever going to get for the card. But what gets me is when these people act so nice when they see you, when they want you to sign something, right? But then if they didn't know you and saw you in public, then they want to really act like themselves, right? And then that's what makes players and probably other celebrities say, you know what? That's why I don't sign. That's why I would not want to sign, because people, they act 2 different ways. When they want something from you, right, they act like you are the best thing since sliced bread. And then when they don't know you, right, and they don't know, that's why you never know. You got to always treat people right, because you don't know who is who. And then, you know, you see these people just act certain ways in public, and that makes you say, you know what, that's why I don't sign cards. That's why I don't sign autographs.
That's right. I get it. And part of it now, I mean, I'll go to a card show and I've got cards with me. I've got a case of cards, and then they have these like trading sessions and stuff afterwards. Like when you're a kid, you used to trade your cards, whatever, or if you had marbles or the little green army men or whatever the hell, you traded stuff with your friends once in a while. Well, nowadays, you got kids, and I remember this. I went to one of those shows. I won't name the company, but I went over at the Rio Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, and some kid goes, oh, hey, I like this particular card of yours. He goes, what do you want in exchange? I said, well, I think I would consider taking this one here, trying to make an even deal. He goes, well, hold on. Let me look up the comps on it. I'm like, dude, you're 10. You're not in the real estate business. I get what you're doing, but either you like it or you don't. I mean, I'm not trying to do a business deal with you. I'm just trading cards like I did when I was a kid. But the kid is 10 years old, and it's all business, and that's it.
Show me the money! There you go. Show me the money.
That's it. It's all about that, and it drives me bananas. Of course, I can't say the word I want to because it's a PG-rated show today, not just G-rated, right? But I guess it just drives me crazy, but whatever. So I was telling people about how PSA, who's the industry leader, they already own SGC, which was a big competitor. Then they just bought Beckett on top of it. And the reality is, now it's an antitrust issue. And if you don't know anything about antitrust, let me tell you something, folks. It's a real deal. And without me going through the Sherman Act or the Clayton Act or the Federal Trade Commission Act, etc., listen, it's basically monopolistic competition. It's not fair. Imagine if one fuel company had 4 different brands on one intersection. They own the entire intersection. So right now you see maybe Shell or Arco or BP or Sinclair or Exxon or whatever the heck. You see all these different companies on these corners, right? And then let's just say they're all owned by one company. If they're owned by one parent company, that is monopolistic competition, folks, in case you don't know. And that is illegal because price fixing and bid rigging and all kind of crap follows that. So, Tyrone, what I was trying to do today is give people a little bit of insight as to, hey, you're paying one company, but you're really paying the parent company, ultimately, right? Because it's hub and spoke. So you got one big company that owns a whole bunch of others. And you think of like Unilever owns a bunch of brands in the grocery store, right? Think about it. Like Pepsi owns, what do they own? They own Kentucky Fried Chicken. They own Taco Bell. So people you'll see, and A&W. So sometimes you'll see something that looks like a Kentucky Fried Taco, right? So Taco Bell, Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken are in the same complex, like Long John Silver's and A&W root beer kind of thing. So it seems like it's monopolistic competition. And for me, with these card trading companies, buddy, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's tough. It's bad when you look at it from one side, but then when you look at the other side, right? We always talk about, have multiple streams of income, right? That's how you get yourself out of a hole if you're in a financial valley, so to speak. So you want to have multiple streams of income. So, when you look at it, I see your point, right? And then I'm pretty sure there are people that say, hey, you know what? That's smart on them. They just created multiple ways to use a peanut, right? So, you just found multiple ways to make income. So, that's what this capitalistic world is all about, even in sports, right? How many positions can you play? You don't want to just be isolated. We say that a lot of times in sports. Don't specialize in one sport. Don't let your kids specialize in one sport when they're growing up. Let them do multiple sports, and that's how you get better. So that's how I see it, Sam.
Well, I think Tony Montana from Scarface says it the best. Here's what he says.
I always tell the truth. Even when I lie.
He always tells the truth, even when he lies. The whole thing. Come on, man. You got 1 minute before we go on break. All I got is my name
and my kahunas.
And I don't break them for nobody. That's kind of what happens. But listen, man. I mean, Tyrone, it was, of course, for you to come on here and listen, folks, this happens. We've had this kind of thing happen before. You never know who's going to show up here on the circus. So, Tyrone, I'm going to let you plug your latest and greatest right now. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to talk about what you're doing right now. Go ahead.
What I'm doing right now, people, first and foremost, thank you for tuning in to the Sports Circus, one of the greatest sports talk shows in this great United States and around the world. Yes. What is Tyrone doing right now? Well, Tyrone is a head coach. Flag football, people. Believe it or not, flag football is becoming the next phenomenon. It's the next Google stock, right? So I have an opportunity to guide ladies to the next level of professional flag football. So I'm enjoying it. So I am the head coach at Alabama State University. Is located in Montgomery, Alabama, and I love it. Turning champions into champions.
That is home of the Montgomery Buttermilk Biscuits, by the way, too. That is the AA baseball team for the Tampa Bay Rays, and arguably one of the coolest sports logos out there today. It's a buttermilk biscuit with a slab of butter in its mouth as its tongue. But Montgomery's a cool little town. If you happen to be over there, not only can you listen to the Sports Circus over there, but you can also check out Tyrone. And Tyrone, how can people follow you?
They can always follow me at TyronePoon38.com. Remember my first name and last name, my football number 38.com, and you got it. Go call Tyrone. TyronePoon38.com.
He sings too. All right, nice round of applause for Tyrone. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Owning great property is almost impossible these days. At least, that's what people keep saying. They don't know about National Premier Properties. Do you have $350 or a credit card? You can own a great piece of property in a resort community. National Premier Properties has over 51 years of experience helping people just like you purchase amazing properties across the U.S. and in Mexico, Canada, the Bahamas. It takes less than 5 minutes to turn your dream into reality. Visit nationalpremierproperties.com and make it happen now.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.